getting the contact information?
I have one question. So, sometimes people tell me, fine, but I'm very busy. Give me your business card and I will write you an email later. And the 50%, yes, they write me back, especially if these people are seniors. So senior people, they they follow what they say.
Right.
And yeah, but if they are my age, they just will ignore and they will not write me.
And
Back.
this is in your door knocking, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So what would happen, because I've done this before in recruiting, and because people love to not call me back all the time. And so I'll do kind of a three-layer effect where if I call and leave a message, then immediately I'll send an email. In the subject line, I'll say something like, I just left you a voice message, so that they know that I'm kind of on top of it. So what if when they did that with you and they took your card and they said, I will write you an email, you said, okay, great. And in the event that you forget, I'll be back on Friday to check in with you again. Think that would work?
Yeah, I think they will feel that I am serious about it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then maybe they'll actually follow through with it because they know that you're coming back. Now, a lot of times people will think, oh, she's going to forget. She's not going to come back. And so that way, if you do deliver that script, you definitely want to make sure that you come back and check in with them. And then you can lay an even bigger guilt trip on them. I'm sure you were probably so busy, but this is so important with the pending market shift that could affect the value of your home. And I just want to make sure that you've got a professional with which you can ask an opinion about your house value too.
Okay.
Cool. I like that one. What else do you guys got? What challenges have you been experiencing in getting contact information?
Well, Katie, did you kind of touch base with what we spoke about yesterday
Why don't you
about
run in?
about making up things in your head of why they may not give you their contact information?
Actually, Nate, you were the inspiration for a midnight script that I came up with based on our conversation yesterday. I got on with Sarah this morning and I said, I actually created a script last night. I sat straight up in bed and was like, ooh, that would work because of what we were talking about. And to clue everybody in, what we were saying is that a lot of times if we build it up in our mind that the person is going to react in a certain way, they do. It's the oddest thing, right? Our brain will make up a story based on their attitude, based on their response, based on whatever it is. And 9 times out of 10, it tends to be negative, a negative story about, oh gosh, I bothered them, or oh, they don't want to hear from me, or oh, they probably think I'm a slimy salesperson. So what if the story that we created around that situation was positive? What if we told ourselves something different? And so from that, as I was kind of thinking down the line, like, okay, so if somebody was rude to me, I would tell myself, oh gosh, I probably caught them in the middle of something. Maybe some family members just died. I mean, who knows what they're going through, but it's definitely not me, is what I would kind of tell myself. But so along that line, I thought, what could the script be that would, if you got an abrasive person saying, no, I'm not going to get, no, I don't want you to follow up with me, what would we say then? And so can I share, do I have your permission to share the script that I wrote with you guys?
Sure.
Could I get, hey, you roll or Garrett, would you roll it with me?
Sure.
Okay. So all I want you to do is when you get to a yes or no point, first give me a yes or a no, whichever you want, and then the second time we'll go through it again and we'll go the other route, okay?
Okay.
So let's pretend that I asked if I could keep in touch with you and you give me a mean response, but basically say no.
Just
Here, do you mind if I follow up with you?
no, I'm fine. Don't even worry about it.
I can appreciate that. Do you already have a real estate advisor that's keeping you informed of any changes in the value of your home?
I just watch the news and I keep up on all that, so I kind of know everything on that.
So that would be a no, we don't have a real estate advisor, right? Okay, so then I would skip to, well, undoubtedly, you already know that protecting your biggest investment by staying abreast of the changes in our market is a really smart thing to do, right? So how about this? I'd like to apply for the job of keeping you informed of any substantial market changes that will affect the value of your home. If at any point you want to discontinue our dialogue, shoot me an email and it's done. How does that sound?
I guess that'll work.
Now let's go back and say, okay, so I can appreciate that. You already have a real estate advisor keeping you informed of any changes on the value of your home. Now say, yes, I have one.
Yes, I have one.
Well, I am so glad to hear that, Garrett, because typically a housing market shift lasts about 5 to 7 years. And we are heading into a market shift currently. Undoubtedly, your agent has already warned you of the potential effect this could have on the market value of your home. And I'm curious, would having a second opinion on the value of your biggest investment be advantageous to you?
Yeah.
Hopefully they do say yes, and then you go right into great. What's the best email address to reach you at as we head into a more volatile real estate market? Let's say he gives me his email, and I'll say thank you so much for that. And should we experience a more dramatic drop in value, what's the best phone number to reach you at? What do you guys think about that? Honestly, feedback.
I love it. It's more in our arsenal to combat these objections that we seem to be getting. Uh, on every well, not every door, not every door, but I mean there's always going to be some kind of objection to overcome, and if we have uh, more at our disposal to overcome them, then the better. That's all the better.
And I think a lot of times that when we hear a mean no, we immediately shy away from it and they're like, oh God, sorry, 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 sorry. But what if we hit that dead in the running guns and just said, oh gosh, or even called it out. If they're especially rude, saying, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I must have caught you at a really bad time. But then we rolled right into that script of, you have a real estate advisor who's keeping you informed of the value or any changes in the value on your home because typically that is their biggest investment, right? And they are trying to protect it. And any potential shifts that they may not know about, or worse, that their real estate agent didn't tell them about, is then again to communicate your validity.
Right.
Do you want me to type that out and upload that to the Slack page?
That'd be awesome.
Cool. Yeah, totally will. You got it. Thank you, Garrett, for role playing with me. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
What else are you guys experiencing out there? Any successes? Any great scripts that are working for you that you could share with the group?
I want to tell that from how house appears, you cannot really tell what these people want in their lives. Sometimes I'm approaching very nice, well-established house and say, no, these people will stay forever. They probably do not interested in real estate. While I will approach them, but actually, it happened to me several times that they are planning to move. They told me they are planning to move in a year, in a 2 or 3. So you never can judge by appearance of the house. Or it can be the front yard can be full of junk and you think if nobody lives here. Actually people do live there and neighbors will tell you about this house. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
See, I think that's really good, Anna, because that speaks to the story we tell ourselves before we walk up to the door. And it make no mistake, you guys, it actually really does matter. It sounds a little woo-woo, but in all reality, what we're thinking when we walk up to that door will totally be communicated to them through through our mannerisms, through our body language, through not us saying it, but through the way that we approach them. And so that's why even having a one-liner in your head, I think in bold, what is it, Nate? What's the one in bold that they have you say before you make the call?
Oh gosh. they're home, they're happy, and they're yeah, they can't wait to hear from me or something like that, or they want to list with me.
There we go. They're home, they're happy, and they want to list with me. The reason why Diana says to say that before the call is because that gets rid of any limiting beliefs that could be matriculating around in our brain and then cause us to be less powerful in our speech as we make that call.
Yeah, and I think that combats, the story in your head of protecting yourself against the rejection. At least that, in the case for me, I put this story in my head, or I look at all the trash in the yard, saying, "Gosh, I can't help these people," But really, it's just guarding me against the rejection that I fear. So I need to stop doing that.
Yeah, that was so transparent. I really appreciate you saying that because you're right. It was interesting, and this is a little bit of an off-color story, so I apologize if I offend anybody. But a couple of my agents had gone to lunch at one of those clubs that has dancing girls, a strip club, and they came back and they said, "Kitty, I think that we found a real estate agent." And I said, listen, here's the deal. I said, think about it. When people reject you, when you're pushing real estate, what are they really rejecting? They're rejecting your product. Think about in terms of those girls. What are they rejecting? They're actually rejecting the person. So if you think about it, we have a much easier job than they do because we're not necessarily subjecting ourselves to total personal rejection. Maybe don't tell Chris I told that story.
I mean, we are being recorded on the live broadcast.
Oh, great. Anyway, point being, they really aren't rejecting us. That's the thing. They may not need what we have to offer at that time. And they have a saying in my world with all of our team leaders, and they say, when you recruit, initially you recruit to yourself because they're not going to buy what you're selling if they don't like you. Same thing with you guys. The client is not going to buy what you're selling if they don't like you to begin with. So how can we make ourselves more approachable and attractive to them to hang out with, or attractive enough to get their contact information from?
One simple thing, you have to feel confident when you go. Just wear something that you like and you feel confident. You feel that you're cute. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's simple, but it's true. You feel confident what is your appearance. So.
I agree.
And you have something valuable in your hand that you can talk about. You have some thoughts about market that you came to share, and you know stories about this neighborhood. Something to just take and spill and start conversation.
Yeah. Yes. That's totally true. It starts with how we get dressed in the morning, really. And if we're wearing something that we don't feel so confident in, change before we go door knocking, because again, every little piece of it matters. It really does. I like what you said though, because really what we're doing is offering value, offering value, offering value. Some people are going to need what we have to offer, and some people we don't want to work with. And that is okay too. If you meet an especially crotchety person that you can tell is going to be a problem child moving forward, don't work hard to get their contact information, because at the end of the day, you want to like your clients too. You want to like the people that you're working with.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that there's enough nice people out there that we don't have to work with the jerks.
That's a super good point, Katie. Because sometimes I really beat myself up if I let myself off the hook and not really hammer them for contact information, because I've got a feeling in my stomach that maybe this just isn't the person I want to work with. So, I mean, it's nice to hear you say that, because then, the less I'm beating myself up, the happier and more fun I'll have, right?
Totally. I'm actually really glad that you brought that up, because our inner dialogue, it matters. It totally matters. And at the end of the day, I trust that each one of you has a good enough judge on people that you're not going to subject yourself to more pain later on by choosing a client that's going to be a jerk. I mean, we have countless stories of that, right? I mean, I've done that myself. I remember my second year in the business, there was this client that was so abrasive, so hardcore, but all I was thinking about is I've already spent this amount of time with them. I'm gonna get a commission check from this, dang it. That commission check was not worth it. It was not even close to being worth the abuse that I went through for over a year. And I remember an agent telling me, hey, Katie, you can fire them. And I was like, really? We can fire them? It blew my mind to think of such a thing that, oh, really? I don't have to work with them? No, we don't have to work with them. So know that that person will most likely be causing you more pain, and trust your gut as long as it's not, sometimes our brain is very clever at fabricating things to get us to like Nate and Anna were saying, when we're walking up the walk and you see the junk in the yard, it's easy to tell ourselves, oh, and maybe I don't want this client. But if we're in dialogue with them and they're giving some prickly responses, that is totally okay to call it a day on that particular person.
And also, Jake and I had a really great conversation not too long ago. I did hear from someone that I didn't get contact information from. They called me a couple months later, and we're working on a transaction right now. I mean, sometimes it's just not what they want to do, but the point I wanted to make was making that good connection with someone and establishing that relationship right off the bat and presenting yourself well. Just because they left without giving you their phone number doesn't mean that the relationship is over. So, I mean, it is possible,
How did that happen? Tell me how they ended up getting back in touch with you.
Well, I met him at an open house, and we did have a long conversation. I mean, I gave him a nice tour of the home, yada, yada, yada. And then we chatted about what they wanted, and I did ask them if they wanted me to reach out to them or keep in touch, and they were like, no, we're fine. And I said, okay, well, and I offered to preview homes for them because they weren't from the area. So I said, if you'd like, let me know. I'm happy to just preview a few homes so that when you're coming into town, it's worth your while. And I mean, I really worked it, man. But so a couple of months later, I mean, that was in March, and they emailed me just a few weeks ago, and they just basically sent me a listing, and they said, hey, do you think you could we met a few months ago at an open house, and they reminded me of their names and their children, and they said it was a really good visit, and we'd like you to book this property for us to take a look at. We're considering buying it. And I said, okay, great. Wow, awesome. Wow. So I took them out to look at it, and sure enough, I mean, we did write a purchase agreement on that property, and they're cash buyers. So they were ready to go. All was well. We canceled that transaction actually since because there were some issues with the stucco, but they looked at another property this weekend, and they called me up and said, okay, we found another one. Let's do this one. So, I mean, and they're just wonderful, wonderful people. So it just really was kind of a nice bright spot.
Can you tell me what you remember about how you connected with them in the open house?
Okay, sure. I'm pretty good at trying to relate. So one thing I noted, and this, take it for what it is, but the lady, the woman, the wife, she's Japanese, and coincidentally, my husband is a quarter Japanese. So we got on a conversation about Japan and about heritage and all that fun stuff. And then they were talking about Zen. Zen was really important to them, and feng shui and all those wonderful things that I know nothing about but sound really good. I mean, I just connected, and I just tried really hard to recognize what was important to them and reiterate and repeat and reiterate that I acknowledged the things that they valued.
That's huge. That right there is huge, because they probably felt like you actually heard them when you reiterate what their values or what their focus is. That's huge, Kristen. That's awesome.
Yeah, it went well. I mean, but they're such nice people, you guys. I mean, seriously, they're really, really nice people. So I got lucky. I was blessed.
That's awesome. Well, it sounds like you also did the work to make the connection, so much so that they actually remembered you even after declining your offer to stay in touch.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually a good lesson to keep it classy, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Is, you think they're going to go a certain way and they go another way. Okay, no big deal. Well, thanks so much. I said, well, thanks so much. And even if you walk away going, what they saw was, well, thank you.
Yeah, and you do too. I mean, you walk away and you're just like, dang it. Oh, well, moving on.
You probably said, "Gosh, I thought I had that in the bag. We had such a great connection. I can't believe you want to keep in touch."
Right. I
And
know.
then yet they did. I think
Mhm.
that's really huge, especially for door knocking too, because you are coming back around. I mean, you guys are supposed to hit the same neighborhood how many times in a year?
At least 3 or 4
3 times,
times, right?
right?
3 times.
Like 3 to 4 times if you're doing, say, 333 doors per, what is it, month, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that said, they're gonna see you again. And so I would say mark the ones that you definitely know you don't want to work with ever, because there will be a few of those. But gosh, those ones that show promise, but maybe it just wasn't the right time. Nate, you and I were talking about that yesterday. You want to share with everybody kind of what your thought process was on that?
Oh, sorry. Was that me? Sorry, you cut
Yeah,
out.
no, that's okay. I would.
Yeah. So on Spotio, there's I keep track of every door I knock on, and the ones that I have really good conversations with, and yet they either not they're not ready to list, and they're not quite ready to give me a contact information yet. We had a good kind of conversation, and we built some rapport. I definitely mark those as follow up, and so in 3 months I'm going to go back and figure out something of value to bring them, so that we can either further the rapport or get that coveted contact information.
Katie, we can't hear you. Oh,
Oh,
nope.
Did she mute herself?
No, I see the microphone keep coming on and off. She keeps trying to mute it, unmute it, and it's still not doing anything.
I guess we can have our own little party without her.
Yeah.
We'll just
You
play
can try
charades.
sign language. Sign language is good. Katie, you could just play charades.
Sign language. Yeah, someone way better.
I see that Stephanie muted Katie. It appeared.
Oh, and
Yeah,
Sarah's gone.
Stephanie. Hey, Stephanie. Yes.
I clicked to mute her and then tried unmuting her to see if it would fix it. But
Yes,
it didn't.
please. Oh.
Poor Katie. Yeah, I'm not quite sure how all this works. Maybe Sarah can fix it. Sarah, help!
I
Katie somehow muted herself, and
can't unmute her.
oh,
Oh, did that work, Katie? No. Close out and come back in. Hi. I got kicked out too. You guys couldn't see
oh,
me for a while.
oh yeah.
So, how's it going?
How now?
Yay!
Oh my gosh. Can you guys see the chat box or no?
I could see it.
Oh, you can see it? Okay. I was texting everyone. I was like, I'm sorry. So, sorry about that.
Yeah.
Any closing thoughts, since we've got like 5 minutes left of the hangout and I want to be respectful of your time?
just take your material and go. And this is it.
Yes, just do it, right? Just do it.
Just do it.
I will upload this script. I hope that it will help you guys. I would kind of have a plan in your head for when somebody gives you that feeling like, oh my gosh, they don't want me to go any further. Something that will bolster your courage enough to just ask that next question, because you could respond to somebody even just who's being very abrasive and saying, no, I can't even believe you're knocking on my door. Oh, well, it sounds like you might have an agent already. You know, go right into a question, because then it engages them versus argues with them or pushes resistance. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Good. Awesome. Well, you guys have a great rest of your week, and I hope to see all of you at the next Google Door Knocking Hangout, and I'll come up with another one of those scripts for you in between now and then.
Okay.
Thank you, Katie.
Thanks,
Are we
Okay.
having
Katie.
one next week with Mega Camp?
Oh, that's right. No Google Hangout next week. Gosh, Garrett, you are so great. Thank you so much for reminding me. No Google Hangout next week. You all get a pass because most of us will be at Mega Camp. So 2 weeks, I'll have a new script for you.
Okay.
All
Thanks,
right.
Katie.
All right.
Thanks.
Pleasure. We'll see you later.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.